Close your eyes and just listen. Outside these walls, the world has disappeared. A relentless white-out blizzard is screaming across the Arctic void where the air is minus 50 degrees and the ice never melts. It is a place not meant for the living, but you have found the impossible. You are standing inside the last library at the edge of the world. Here the walls are 3 feet of solid stone and the air smells of aged parchment, beeswax, and the deep, comforting warmth of a cedarwood fire. Can you feel it? The cold is out there, but the peace is in here. Leave the frozen world behind. You are safe, you are warm, and tonight the storm is nothing more than a lullaby to guide you into the deepest sleep you've ever known. Before we begin our journey deeper into the silence, if you find peace in this library, please consider subscribing to our sanctuary and sharing this warmth with others. It helps our fire stay lit for everyone seeking refuge. Now, let us walk into the shadows of the story. You begin to walk deeper into the grand hall of the last library. Your boots feel heavy, but the thick crimson rugs beneath your feet swallow every sound, making your movement as silent as a ghost. It is so quiet here. The only thing you hear is the rhythmic crackle of the fire and the low, distant moan of the blizzard outside. The shelves are endless. Thousands of books, bound in leather and gold, stretch up into the darkness of the high, vaulted ceiling. You run your fingers along the spines as you pass, feeling the texture of ancient paper and the weight of history. The air is thick and comforting, filled with the scent of old wood, beeswax, and a hint of vanilla from aging parchment. You find a massive oak table near the fireplace. A single candle is flickering there, its golden flame dancing as if it has been waiting specifically for your arrival. This is your sanctuary. No phones, no noise, no cold. Just you and the stories of 1,000 years. You settle into a high-backed velvet armchair. It is soft, pulling you in, wrapping around you like a warm embrace. You can feel the heat from the hearth washing over you, melting away the tension in your shoulders. Outside, the world is a chaotic swirl of ice and wind, but in here, time is slowed to a crawl. You watch the embers glow, breathing in the scent of cedar smoke. Every breath you take is deeper than the last. You are safe. You are hidden. You are exactly where you are meant to be. The shadows of the books dance on the stone walls, lulling you into a peaceful trance as the storm continues its lonely song against the heavy glass windows. You settle deeper into the cushions of your chair, feeling the velvet texture against your skin. The book in your hands feels heavy, a physical weight that anchors you to this moment. You slowly open the cover, and the creak of the ancient binding is the most satisfying sound you have heard all day. The pages are thick, uneven, and golden with age. You run your palm over the first page, feeling the slight indentations of the ink. It tells a story of a traveler long ago, someone who braved the same white wilderness that is currently screaming outside your window. You look away from the book for a moment, letting your gaze wander across the vast room. The firelight creates a living map of shadows on the rows of books. High above, you see an old wooden ladder resting against a shelf titled Histories of the North Star. You imagine climbing that ladder, rising above the warmth of the fire into the cool, silent air of the upper balconies where the oldest secrets are kept. The library feels like a living thing, breathing with you, protecting you from the absolute zero of the world outside. The blizzard gives another violent push against the stone walls. You can hear the frozen branches of a lone, ancient tree clawing at the glass, a sharp metallic scraping that only emphasizes how thick the walls are. In here, the air is golden. In here, the air is still. You watch a single spark fly from the fireplace and vanish into the chimney. A tiny star born and dead in a second. You realize that out there the world is fighting a war of ice, but in here, you have already won. Your mind begins to drift away from the words on the page. The rhythmic pop and hiss of the burning sap in the logs acts like a metronome for your thoughts. You find yourself staring into the embers, seeing entire landscapes in the glowing coals. Red mountains, golden valleys, and rivers of liquid fire. Your shoulders drop further. The tension you didn't even know you were carrying in your neck simply dissolves. There is no tomorrow, no yesterday, only the warmth of the rug beneath your feet and the infinite library surrounding you. You feel a profound sense of gratitude for this solitude. In the world you left behind, there was always noise. Always a clock ticking, a screen glowing, a voice calling. But here the only voice is the wind, and it cannot reach you. You are hidden in the belly of the mountains, wrapped in layers of stone and stories. The candle on the table has burned down slightly, its wax pooling into a small, translucent lake. You watch the flame flicker in a draft you cannot feel, and your eyes grow heavier. The library is singing you a silent song of rest, a melody made of dust motes and firelight. You are drifting deeper and deeper into the soft embrace of the shadows. The flicker of the candlelight casts long, thin shadows that stretch across the floor like the fingers of a giant. You lean your head back against the velvet of the chair and close your eyes for a moment, letting the sound of the storm become a background hum. Outside, the blizzard has reached a new level of intensity. The snow is no longer falling, it is screaming horizontally, carving white rivers through the dark night. You can hear the heavy oak beams of the library groaning slightly under the weight of the accumulating ice, a sound of strength and endurance. This building has seen 1,000 winters like this, and it has never yielded. You open your eyes and look towards the spiral staircase in the corner made of dark, wrought iron and polished wood. It winds upward into the gloom of the second floor where the Gallery of Dreams is located. You imagine the millions of sentences resting in those books, all of them silent, all of them waiting. The air up there is cooler, scented with the metallic tang of the cold stone and the dry aroma of vellum. You feel a strange sense of companionship with these books. They are your silent guardians, standing in rows like soldiers protecting the silence of this sacred space. Your hand reaches for the small porcelain cup on the table. It is filled with a dark spiced tea that smells of cinnamon and star anise. The steam rises in a thin, swirling ribbon, disappearing into the firelight. As you take a slow sip, the warmth spreads through your chest, reaching down to your very toes. Every muscle in your body is now completely heavy. Your legs feel as though they have turned into lead, sinking into the soft cushion of the armchair. The world of movement and hurry is gone. There is only this chair, this fire, and this moment. The grandfather clock in the shadows strikes the hour. The sound is deep, resonant, and incredibly slow. Dong, dong, dong. Each chime vibrates in the air, echoing off the stone walls before fading into the crackle of the fire. It feels as if the clock is counting the heartbeats of the mountain itself. You realize that you haven't checked your phone, or thought about the time, or worried about a single task for hours. In the last library, the concept of a schedule is meaningless. You are existing in the now, a suspended state of being where the only requirement is to breathe and be still. Beyond the circle of firelight, the library stretches into a labyrinth of corridors. You think about the explorers who might have sat in this very chair 100 years ago, seeking refuge from the same Arctic winds. Perhaps they felt this same profound peace. Perhaps they, too, watched the way the orange light plays upon the gold leaf titles on the shelves. You feel connected to a long line of seekers, all of whom found their way to this fireplace when the world outside became too cold to bear. The wind gives a long, mournful whistle as it passes through the stone carvings on the roof. It sounds like a flute played by a giant. But inside, the air is thick and still. You watch a small pile of ash crumble in the hearth, revealing a core of glowing white heat. The fire is at its peak, radiating a steady, unwavering warmth that seems to pulse in time with your own breathing. You are drifting now, the boundary between the library and your dreams beginning to thin. The smell of cedar, the taste of cinnamon, the sound of the wind, it all blends into a single beautiful sensation of safety. The world outside has been completely swallowed by the white curtain of the storm. If you were to look through the glass now, you would see nothing but a swirling vortex of ice, a chaotic dance of snowflakes that have never touched the ground. The snow has begun to pile up against the lower panes of the windows, forming soft white drifts that mute the howling of the wind even further. It feels as though the library is being slowly buried, tucked into the side of the mountain, hidden away from the rest of humanity. And you are here, at the very center of this silence, protected by layers of stone and wood. You lean your head to the side, feeling the soft texture of the armchair's wing against your temple. Your eyes drift to the fireplace again. The logs have shifted, settling into a bed of glowing coals that pulse with a deep, rhythmic amber light. The crackling has slowed down to a gentle occasional pop, a sound so domestic and peaceful that it makes the vastness of the library feel intimate. You find yourself focusing on a single glowing ember, watching it fade from bright orange to a dusty gray, only to be revived by a small breath of air from the chimney. It is hypnotic. It is the only thing in the universe that matters right now. You begin to think about the thousands of stories that surround you on these shelves. In the darkness of the upper galleries, there are books about stars that have long since burned out, maps of empires that turn to dust, and poems written by people whose names have been forgotten. But in this library, they are all still alive. They are all still speaking in their silent way. You feel a strange sense of comfort knowing that you are part of this continuity. The cold outside is temporary, but the warmth of these stories is eternal. Your breathing has become so slow that you can barely hear it. Each inhale brings the scent of the library, a mixture of old leather, vanilla, and the clean, sharp smell of the winter air that managed to sneak in through the cracks. It is a scent that clears your mind, washing away the last remnants of the day's stress. Your hands resting on the arms of the chair feel heavy and still. You have no desire to move. Even the thought of turning a page feels like too much effort. You are content to simply exist, to be a silent witness to the passage of the night. In the distance, somewhere deep in the back of the hall, you hear the soft creak of a floorboard. In any other place, it might have startled you, but here it is just the house settling, the ancient wood adjusting to the intense cold outside. It sounds like a sigh. The library is comfortable. It is settled. It is watching over you. You feel a wave of sleepiness, heavy and sweet like honey, beginning to wash over your brain. It starts at the base of your skull and moves forward, smoothing out your brow, relaxing your jaw, and making your eyelids feel as though they are made of lead. You look at the candle on the table. It is burned down to a small stub, but its flame is steady and strong. It casts a golden halo on the dark wood of the table, illuminating the ancient dust motes that drift lazily through the air. They look like tiny planets orbiting a sun. Everything is small, everything is quiet, and everything is perfectly in its place. The storm can howl all at once. It is just a ghost outside the door. You are the master of this warm kingdom, and your only task is to let go. To sink deeper into the velvet, and to listen to the fire. The silence of the library has its own sound, a low, humming vibration that resonates in your very bones. It is the sound of millions of pages resting, of centuries of thoughts held in a single frozen moment. You find yourself drifting into a light trance, your eyes half closed, watching the way the red glow of the embers reflects on the glass of the bookcases. Outside, the blizzard is no longer a storm. It has become a permanent state of the world. The windows are now completely frosted over, decorated with intricate ice crystals that look like silver ferns in frozen galaxies. You are encased in a tomb of warmth, a secret chamber at the edge of the universe. Imagine standing up, just in your mind, and walking towards the darkest corner of the library. You walk past shelves that hold the records of the lost cities. You can smell the sand and the salt air of ancient oceans coming from the pages. You walk further past the maps of the night sky, where the books are bound in dark blue velvet and smell like ozone and starlight. Your feet make no sound on the heavy rugs. You are a spirit moving through a cathedral of knowledge. Every book you pass adds a layer of peace to your soul. There is a story here for every worry you ever had, and in this library those worries are being turned into ink and paper, filed away where they can never hurt you again. You return your focus to the room, to the chair, to the fire. The heat is steady, a heavy blanket that presses against your chest and limbs. You feel as though you are melting, your edges blurring until you are no longer sure where you end and the armchair begins. The ticking of the grandfather clock has become so slow it feels like it might stop altogether. Tick, and a long, long silence. Tock. It is the pulse of a sleeping giant. The shadows on the ceiling move in a slow circular dance, mimicking the swirl of the snow outside, but with none of its violence. Your thoughts are like clouds now, thin and wispy, floating away before you can even name them. You think of a single word: safe. It echoes in your mind, growing louder and softer at the same time. Safe, hidden, warm, forgotten. The world you came from is thousands of miles away, separated by a wall of ice and wind that no one can cross. You are the only person who knows this place exists. This is your private infinity. The fire lets out a long, hissing sigh as a pocket of sap reaches the heat. A small plume of blue flame dances for a moment before turning back to gold. You watch it with the intensity of a child fascinated by the simple beauty of the light. Your breathing is now so shallow, so effortless that it feels like the library itself is breathing for you. Each exhale is a release of the very last bit of tension in your toes, your fingers, and your jaw. You are sinking deeper, deeper into the heart of the mountain. The wind outside makes a low booming sound as it hits the stone towers, a reminder of the power of nature. But that power is kept at bay by the ancient stones and the heavy oak. You are in a sanctuary that was built to last forever. As the night grows darker and the storm grows wilder, your inner world becomes brighter and more peaceful. The flickering candle on your table is a lighthouse in the dark, and you are the keeper of the flame. You are drifting, floating on a sea of golden light and ancient stories, moving closer and closer to the threshold of a dreamless, perfect sleep. The heavy velvet of the chair seems to have grown warmer, pulling you deeper into its soft embrace until the world beyond your immediate surroundings begins to blur and fade. You are now in the deepest part of the night, where the line between reality and the library's ancient magic starts to dissolve. Outside, the blizzard has become a steady, rhythmic pulse, a wall of white noise that isolates you perfectly from the rest of the planet. The wind no longer sounds like a threat, it sounds like a protector. A wild beast guarding the entrance to your sanctuary, ensuring that nothing and no one can disturb your absolute peace. Your attention drifts to the rows of books once more, but now they look like blurry pillars of gold and brown in the fading light. You imagine the scent of the pages, cloves, dried ink, and the ghost of 1,000 summers captured in paper. You feel a strange, beautiful weight in your arms and legs. It is the weight of complete surrender. You are no longer holding yourself up. The chair, the floor, and the very mountain beneath the library are carrying you. You are as still as the statues in the entrance hall, as quiet as the dust that dances in the candlelight. Your jaw relaxes completely, your shoulders drop away from your ears, and even the tiny muscles around your eyes let go of their last grip on the day. The fire is now a deep, smoldering crimson. The tall flames have settled into a steady glow that fills the room with a dim amber light, making the library feel even larger and more mysterious. You watch the way the shadows crawl slowly up the spines of the books, climbing toward the ceiling like silent vines. There is a profound sense of timelessness here. You could be in the 18th century or the 25th. It doesn't matter. In the last library, every era exists at once, and every story is happening right now. You find comfort in this infinity. You are a small, warm point of consciousness in a vast sea of silent history. You think about the snow outside piling up higher and higher, sealing the doors, insulating the stone walls, creating a fortress of ice. You are tucked away like a seed beneath the winter ground, waiting for a spring that is months away. There is no urgency. There is no next thing to do. The only reality is the slow, steady rise and fall of your chest. In and out, in and out. The air you breathe is cool on your nose but warm in your lungs, a perfect balance that lulls your brain into a state of pure, thoughtless bliss. Somewhere in the high rafters, a small owl might be perched, watching the fire with golden eyes, or perhaps it is just your imagination playing with the shapes of the shadows. It doesn't matter. Everything in this room is a friend. Every shadow is a blanket. Every creak of the wood is a lullaby. You are drifting on a vast dark ocean of peace with the glowing hearth as your only star. The cold is 1,000,000 miles away. The noise of the world is a forgotten dream. You are sinking into the velvet, sinking into the warmth, sinking into the heart of the library where the stories never end and the sleep is eternal. The candle on the small oak table has finally flickered out, leaving behind a thin, swirling ribbon of white smoke that vanishes into the darkness. Now, the only light comes from the dying embers of the fire, a deep, pulsing crimson that casts a soft, ghostly glow across the floor. The library has transformed. The high shelves are no longer visible, hidden in a velvet blackness that feels warm and protective. You are sitting in a circle of fading light, a small island of warmth in a sea of ancient shadows. The silence has become heavy, almost physical, pressing gently against your skin like a soft weight. It is a silence that doesn't feel empty. It feels full of peace, full of rest, and full of the millions of words resting in the books around you. You find yourself staring into the dark, your eyes no longer focusing on any one thing. The shapes of the armchairs and the tables have blurred into the shadows, and for a moment, you feel as though you are floating in a void of perfect calm. The blizzard outside has faded into a distant rhythmic hum, a white noise that seems to vibrate in tune with your own heartbeat. You are so far away from the world now. The cities, the lights, the noise, and the endless rush of time have all been erased by the ice and the dark. There is only this breath and then the next. You feel a wave of profound relaxation starting at the top of your head and moving slowly down to your toes, turning your entire body into a pillar of heavy, warm stone. In your mind, the library walls begin to feel transparent. You imagine the snow outside, miles and miles of pure, untouched white, glowing under a hidden moon. You feel the immense strength of the mountain holding you up, shielding you from the chaos of the elements. You are in the safest place in existence. Your thoughts are moving slower now, like thick honey dripping from a spoon. Words are becoming images, and images are becoming feelings. You think of the word rest, and it feels like a soft, dark blanket being pulled over your shoulders. You think of the word peace, and it feels like the cool touch of ancient paper. The fire lets out one last quiet pop, a tiny spark that glows for a second before vanishing into the ash. The heat is still there, steady and unwavering, radiating from the hearth. You feel a sense of completion. The journey is over. The storm has done its work of isolating you, and the library has done its work of comforting you. You are ready now. Every muscle in your face has gone slack. Your hands are open and still. You are drifting on the very edge of sleep, where the stories of the books begin to blend with the stories of your own dreams. The last library is closing its eyes with you, settling into the long white night. You are falling, deeper than you have ever fallen, into a sleep that is as vast and silent as the Arctic sky. The embers in the fireplace are now a dull, steady glow, like the fading light of a distant star. The room has grown darker, and the shadows have claimed almost every corner of this vast sanctuary. You can feel the weight of the silence now. It is a comforting weight, like a heavy quilt made of wool and memories. Your breathing is slow, rhythmic, and so quiet that it blends perfectly with the soft hiss of the cooling wood. Outside, the blizzard continues its eternal dance, but it feels a million miles away. The world of cold and ice is just a story now, a fairy tale told to a child who is already half asleep. You are the only reality. This warmth is the only truth. Imagine the rows of books once more. In the dark, they are no longer just objects. They are ancient friends standing guard over your rest. They hold the wisdom of ages, and right now, that wisdom is telling you to let go. To let go of the day, to let go of the year. To let go of every thought that has ever kept you awake. You feel a deep, pulsing warmth in your chest that radiates outward through your shoulders, down your arms, and into the very tips of your fingers. You are so heavy, you are so still. The library seems to be whispering to you, a wordless song of peace that resonates in the very air you breathe. You are drifting in a space between worlds. Here, there is no time. There is no tomorrow waiting for you. There is only the soft glow of the hearth and the infinite protective darkness of the halls. You feel a sense of profound surrender, as if you are a leaf falling slowly through a still, dark forest. Every time you exhale, you sink a little deeper into the velvet. Every time you inhale, you breathe in the spirit of this ancient place. The sounds of the storm are now just a low, vibrating hum, a lullaby played by the earth itself. You are falling into a state of perfect grace. Your mind is a calm, dark lake with no ripples on its surface. The stories of the library have all been told, and now it is time for your own story to fade into the quiet. You are safe. You are loved by the silence. You are protected by the stone and the wood. The last library has wrapped its arms around you, and it will not let the cold in. You are moving closer to the threshold of a dreamless, beautiful void, where the only thing that exists is the feeling of being completely and utterly at peace. And now the last glow of the embers has faded into a soft, dark gray. The room is silent. The library is still. You are no longer watching the fire. You are a part of the shadows, a part of the warmth, a part of the peace that lives within these ancient walls. The blizzard outside continues its lonely journey across the ice, but its voice has become a whisper. A gentle reminder that you are tucked away, safe and hidden in the heart of the world. Your journey tonight is complete. The books are closed, the candles are out. There is nothing left to do but surrender to the heavy, sweet pull of sleep. Let your mind drift away like a ship on a dark, calm ocean. There are no more words. There is only the stillness. Stay here in this warmth as long as you need. The library will keep watch over you. The stone walls will hold back the cold. The stories will guard your dreams. Sleep now, deeper and deeper, lost in the infinite quiet of the last library. Good night and sweet dreams.